Well, most Kenyans are familiar with Wabera Street here in the central business district in Nairobi. But what many are unfamiliar with is the man behind the name, Daudi Dabaso Wabera, the first African district commissioner in the Northern Frontier District during the post-independence Kenya. Daudi Dabaso Wabera was born in Marsabit town in 1926 and got his primary education in Marsabit before proceeding to Kahuhia in Murang'a for his secondary education. Said Wabera, a journalist and a son to the administrator, was a small boy when his father died at the age of 37.
He was among the civil servants who were taken to universities in UK to prepare them to take over the civil service in the country.
Wabera joined the then provincial administration in 1946 as a clerk and in 1956 was appointed a DO. After returning from Cambridge College in the United Kingdom in 1961, Wabera was promoted to a district commissioner the following year and posted to Isiolo to take over from a white DC. And this is where he became the first African DC in the Northern Frontier District.
He was a performer. He was somebody who was also had a charismatic character. You're just born to lead.
In their bid to destabilize the unitary government proposed under Kenyatta, the colonial masters fronted the agitation for autonomy in the then Northern Frontier District that included parts of Northern Rift Valley province. This was part of their plan to get rid of a man who literally stood in their way.
He had a brief from the Prime Minister then, the founding father of the nation, Jomo Kenyatta, to win the hearts and minds of those who want to secede to Somalia. His brief was to ensure that these people are convinced to stay in Kenya.
At Wabera's home in Marsabit, we meet 3 of his children and a few locals who remembered him. A road along the streets of Marsabit has also been named after the fallen hero, including schools and hospitals. Mzee Abuda Golo vividly remembers the day Wabera was murdered. By then, Wabera was on a mission to dissuade the Borana community in Isiolo from supporting calls for secession as advocated by the NPP, a political party that campaigned for autonomy by the Northern Frontier District from the soon-to-be independent Kenya.
Hapo ndio sasa ikaanza vita ya NFD kutokana na kifo yake. Na hii wakati alikuwa bado wazungu wako.
The murder, Mzee Abudo says, came in the wake of pronouncements by Prime Minister Jomo Kenyatta. The plans had been hatched to assassinate senior African officials in the colonial government.
If you made mistakes, I forgive you. We must not forget the past, but we must forgive and work together.
This was hardly a month after Kenya attained internal self-rule, Madaraka Day on 1st June 1963. Close to a month later, Wabera was murdered.
Tarehe 28 mwezi wa 6 1963 aliuawa katika sehemu ya Garbatula.
Historians believe Kenya will probably be smaller than it is today were it not for the efforts of Daudi Dabaso Wabera. But one will ask, has the government done anything to compensate the family of a man whom all evidence points to the involvement of the colonialist in his death?
Hatukuona mambo nyingine ambayo serikali labda ametukumbuka ametufanyia kusema kwamba huyu DC ametoka Marsabit ambaye ni mtu wa Northern Kenya. Hakuna mtu amewahi kuja kutuuliza mkoje.
His former colleagues in the colony, and just when Kenya became independent, some white civil servants, district commissioners, retired district commissioners, came to Marsabit. A couple came to Marsabit, and they were adequately compensated for their role in serving this country. Wabera was never compensated.
Wabera's grave still lies in Marsabit graveyard, its labels clearly showing that he was indeed killed in the line of duty. And as Kenya marks Heroes Day this Sunday, we celebrate a man who single-handedly fought the push for secession in the 60s, but whose efforts are rarely appreciated. Yusuf Ibrahim, K24, Weekend Report.